moment. I wonder if my channel's been taken down.
That's weird.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm getting there. It's still...
We're not live yet, though, no?
Not quite. Oh, hang on, we're going now. Looks good.
Talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick earth with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate.
Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent as your friend was?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.
Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Gem's Flat Earth Sunday Roast. In tonight's show, we answer the questions you were afraid to ask, such as, is it okay to vandalise statues of flat earthers? And why are there no statues of flat earthers? And is lemon a bird? Transvestigation coming up on our 2-hour tour of Conspiritardia. I am your host, Gem, and joining me, as always, are loads of the cool kids from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. They are Lewis, Scott, Kosho, Curved, Cat, and every Glober's favourite flatty, Spurs Chemo. Good evening, everyone.
Well, good to be here, Jim. How are you all? Fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. Chemo's got a jingle. It would seem. How is everyone? Somebody
good
speak.
now. Just cheer me up.
Has it been a jolly week for you all?
Yes.
No.
No? Okay. That's too bad.
Doesn't sound
just
like
guessing
it was
from the
for anyone.
Well, it was up until yesterday, but yeah.
What? Sorry, what's that?
It was for me up until yesterday.
Oh, yes. Is this the story that you've just recounted from yesterday?
Yeah, it is. It's remarkable how a little event like that can ruin your whole week.
Go on, tell us about your event, please.
Now there's a BLM protest in my town, and I went there with my camera, and I ended up surrounded. Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, that's the short of it. I'm okay. Nothing really happened, but yeah.
Well, it's good to see you here, Lewis. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, kind of in that vein. Well, not really, I guess, but heading in that direction. This week, I noticed some odd videos popping up from the QAnons. Take a look at what they've been up to.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am Josh, also known as Q Patriot, and welcome to the Red Pill Project. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. We have a whole bunch of new Q posts. We have a lot of things going on in the world. What we're doing here is we are building a strong network of patriots united amongst each other to stop the New World Order, to stop this evil cabal that we call the Deep State. And we're united by this anonymous entity known as QAnon. Now, who and what Q is what we believe that it's some form of military intelligence. 4509, welcome to the digital battlefield. Together we win. 24th of June, 2020. You have been selected to help serve your country. Never retreat from the battlefield. Twitter, Facebook, etc. And this is, I think Q's telling us to stop going to Parler and all these other channels. And we can go up there and create profiles. But don't leave just yet. Don't abandon them. Use other platforms as a form of centralized command and control. Organize and connect, bridge through linking. As in, share your parlor tweets on Twitter. Right? Source memes materials from Battlefield and or Garage. Highlight and share, take and drop. And Q tells us a mission. He tells us what's happening. He tells us what they want us to do. Mission 1. Dispute, reject propaganda push through posting of research and facts. Mission 2. Support role of other digital soldiers. One falls, another stands and rises. Mission 3. Guide, awaken others through use of facts. D-Class 1 through 99 material and other relevant facts. And memes. Decouple MSDNC control of info stream. Ask counter questions to initiate thought verse repeat echo of MSDNC propaganda. So what he's saying there is, help others, guide them. So people looking at these mainstream media posts, we should be blowing up the comment section with these memes, making people question the mainstream narrative. Mission 4, learn use of camouflage digitally. Primary account suspended, terminated, use secondary. So this is always have a backup account, okay? Mission 5, identify strengths, weaknesses, personal and designated targets. Think about Twitter and Facebook plus others. Example, memes, failure to read through use of algo. Think Tron MCP master control program, dependence on person, the person capture, slow response, time unidentified users, game theory, information warfare. Welcome to the digital battlefield. Together we win. So Q's reminded us that memes, basically, when you have a message embedded within a photograph, the algorithm can't detect that. It can only be detected by human means. So someone has to actually report it, and then the algorithm has to pick up on the reports to actually start to remove it. 4510, 24th of June, 2020. Digital soldiers take the oath and serve our country. Take the oath. Mission forward. It's one order that Q has told us, and you know what? Let's do this right. So let's do this. Are we ready? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joshua Reed, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
Where we go one,
we go all.
We are digital soldiers. We are here as civilians, supporting and defending the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. We are now coordinating with a military operation known as the Country Team, known as QAnon, in defense of this country, against an insurgency, against an enemy that thinks they're winning, but they're not.
And God bless America. And God bless Donald Trump.
And that was the QAnons taking their oaths. Lots more of those popped up actually later the week after I edited. So, I don't know. What do you reckon to that?
Captain Bullshit makes a good point. His eyes are really close together. If you just quickly pause it and look at him.
Whose eyes?
The guy's eyes are really
that guy. Hold on, let me get back to him.
Go back and rewind. Pause it.
Okay. There, he's back on. That presenter guy, do you mean?
Yeah, the blonde guy.
I tell you, the one that struck me, let me see if I can get it back to him. Where is he? He's before this guy. Hang on.
or purpose of
Let me just run it back to this guy.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help
Oh,
me
I missed
God.
him.
Where we go one,
we go all.
It was this guy, the cowboy guy. I mean, I want to speak to him. I want to speak to him about his skincare regime. Because
that I bear true.
Look at his skin. He's just got like perfect skin. I don't know how he's achieved that. But he's got, you know, he looks like he's what, you know, it's late 60s, something like that, 70 odd. But he's got like 20-year-old skin.
He does actually. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So anyway, so what do you reckon to this oath business? Then I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to offend anyone, so I don't want to be taking this lightly. If
it's a serious matter.
I've taken the oath this morning.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy when I first heard you talking about it, but now after watching that clip, I mean, I was kind of choked up. It was very touching to see all of these civilians out there swearing in, taking the presidential oath of office.
Right. Yeah, that was the bit I didn't really get.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I support you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, go ahead.
We take a similar oath when we join the military, but we don't. It doesn't have to do with office, so it's like it's worded differently. He's right. It's more worded like it's for the presidency. But I think it's kind of funny that what they're doing in this video is almost what flat earthers kind of imagine globers do. Like they had, like, imagine we're part of some like cabal, some military cabal where we have like an oath and we have like techniques and strategies and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think it's kind of weird because they're making like an oath like for trolling kind of like he's like, yeah, you got to have the right memes and
have secondary accounts, bury messages in images and all this sort of thing, which was it's a little bit creepy, isn't it? Especially when you consider how things like Brexit and the last election, how it was talked about the manipulation of social media by various organizations. It's kind of a little bit creepy when you see I guess it's less creepy if someone's saying it openly. I don't know. What do you?
I think that the reason for that, I do get that, is because conservative views are like heavily censored on social media. So this new, don't know if you heard of Parler. It's this new sort of Twitter rival.
Yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah, I didn't really know what it was because I'm old and slow.
It's just a new Twitter, but they're not. They want everyone to just have free speech kind of thing. They're not censoring any side. And I guess that's saying, which is quite interesting, is don't just jump over to a kind of echo chamber. We've still got to fight people's ideologically in their world, if you know what I mean, in their sort of sphere. So don't just and the whole thing of memes and that is just because it's just to get an idea across, if you see what I mean. I don't think it's sinister, but it's activism. Do you know what I mean? It's a form of political activism.
Yeah.
Which isn't smashing up the street, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of quite not. And that girl's fit, wasn't she? The first one. She was a lovely looking girl, I thought.
I was thinking about taking the oath right then.
No, you thought, Lewis, you would take the oath. I guarantee you're taking the oath.
Well, there was nothing inherently wrong with the oath. It was like,
I'll tell you what I think's wrong with it. It's just a sign that they're taking themselves way too seriously. That they have this like secret mission like language, mission 1, mission 2, and these these sort of epic phrases like together we stand. It seems like LARPing to me. It seems like they're all role playing in their head some fantasy version of themselves where they're freedom fighters when really they're just internet trolls, more or less.
Yeah.
It seems silly. It's a little cringe to me.
It could become quite serious too.
Yep.
Go on, Lewis. Disagree.
I anticipate that we'll see these people out in the world
achieving great things.
Yeah, doing stupid shit.
We'll find out. That'll be determined, I suppose.
Well, at the risk of getting too political, and I did see a report this week that said I think there were 8 people running for office that had shown support for QAnon stuff. Now, I guess in this report they were trying to pin anything to anyone, kind of thing, So, I guess if somebody had just retweeted something, that may not have been obviously Q, but turned out to be, But yeah, apparently there was I think there's now some have been eliminated, and there's now 4. But these are people who are fully buying into the idea of a sort of, a child trafficking ring being run from Washington kind of thing. And so that's kind of, I don't know, that would bother me if they were my politicians and they'd got this far in the running, I think. But it is what it is.
I think the thing is the support for this movement, or like I'd just say, even in my area, the general consensus of people whinging and moaning who come through my shop. I hear a lot of this kind of talk.
Do you?
I had just today, I had someone telling me about this.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely out there. It's big. It's growing, and I think the censoring of. I think if in a way. It is a symptom of all of conservatives being so censored on the internet that things just go a bit mad. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Get left in the realm of and can go a little bit skew-whiff because no one's being allowed to talk about things so openly. If you know what I mean.
Right.
I feel a bit sorry for the British QAnons. I mean, they struggle a bit to sort of. To look credible when they're constantly going on about American politics that doesn't concern them. And this one, I think, really leaves them out. I mean, they can't really swear their allegiance to the USA, can they, if they're not from the USA? And so I kind of feel sorry for them in that regard.
Couldn't they raise their right hand and sing God Save the Queen?
No, because we've got a new king.
No.
It's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not on at all. Sorry. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim. Well, I was going to say, based on what you asked a second ago about, the having a politician who might have retweeted a QAnon thing or whatever the case could be, I think it'd only be fair to weigh each of those like with case by case. Do them case by case because sometimes like there may be something that's actually an actual complaint or an actual point or claim that's being made that may not be that outrageous because not 100% of the stuff that QAnon people claim are really that far out there. Like a bunch of them are really far out there, but there's some simple stuff about banking and things like that, which they do point at actual real stories that may not be not yet covered on mainstream media.
And an awful lot of it is just supporting Trump. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, he's a sitting president. There's there's nothing wrong with supporting your nation's leader at all, is there? That's not creepy or weird. But the interviews that I saw, they actually interviewed some of these prospective politicians and asked them about the nutty stuff, and they were into that, and that was that specifically about the child trafficking from Washington was what they were asked. Anyway, shall we move on? Oh, Chemo. We haven't heard from Chemo.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you say, it's not really our affair. We're just watching the destruction of an empire, which is it's quite interesting because we're actually witnessing this in real time. Usually, these things happen in history, such huge events like this, and you get to read about them or hear about them. But we're actually watching this firsthand, the fall of a nation. So. It'd just be interesting to watch from the sidelines, like we're watching sport or something. So
yeah, well, you shouldn't write it off quite so easily. Later in the show, we'll see how this kind of gets to us Brits as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I did want to add something. Flashburn in the chat had suggested a little bit ago.
Yes, I saw that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, he says that maybe you should have an oath for your server. We all should swear to.
Yeah. Yeah,
dear God, no.
Yeah, we should do that, and we should have housekeeping questions every morning. That we go through. We make
any evidence for
Yeah, each person that arrives in the chat, we make them go through the housekeeping questions until so that their loyalty is affirmed before they can take part. I think would be good. All right, back to dear old Blighty now, and our old friend Dell from Beyond the Imaginary Curve, who, in an effort to boost Scotland's deflated tourism industry, released this video this week about the joys of Scotland. Coming right.
Every fucking bastard day. What a fucking shithole. Never felt so fucking helpless and depressed in all my life. Fucking summer. Bastard summer. Look at everybody. Look at this poor old cunt. Look at his fucking jacket on. Look at her down there. Jacket on. Every fucker. Fucking jackets on. No different from fucking December. Why don't I sit down and get my arse all wet on the bench in the middle of summer? See if I can catch some pneumonia in the fucking summertime. Look at this fucking shite. Look at that. Every fucking day. Weather prediction, sunny, cloudy. I'm not telling you fucking lies. Fucking covered in cloud with the sun above it. Now it's pissing down. Fucking love it. I'm just no built to live like a fucking duck. Yeah, the sun's 93 fucking miles away according to retards, right? The sun is 93 fucking million miles away. These absolute mongs actually believe that shite. Right, so in London right now it's 35 fucking degrees, scorching fucking sun. Here you're lucky if it's 15 degrees and we're about 300 miles between us. Fuck off. What a bunch of fucking absolute knob jockeys. People wonder why Scottish people are so fucking miserable all the time. No wonder. Look at this. Majority of the time, you know, that cloud's not even dropping anything. It's just there, like a big fucking hood stopping the sun from getting to you. Such a fucking hellhole, man. All I ask for is fucking a simple life, decent fucking weather. I mean, even, you know, think about it here. Why would you come here, right? Because you've got an opportunity to grow some crops for about maybe fucking 6 weeks out the fucking year. But even then, you're threatened by fucking constant pissing down, and you might not get enough crops that you need to then store through the winter, which lasts for about fucking 11 months, right? So, who the fuck would come here? We're no built for this pish. We should be living amongst the fucking tropics, between the bands, where we can get fucking food all year round, weather, don't need to make fucking clothes and fucking run about like Eskimos. You know what I mean? What a bunch of... That shows you how thick the human race are. They're as fucking thick as shit. Absolute stupid cunts, man. As I've said so many times before, if I could get a hold of the ancestors that came here, I'd fucking put them down immediately, so that we don't need to put up with this pish. This is mid-June in Scotland. That old guy's fucking lost his bearings. He's going into hypothermia now. That old guy, he's fucking wandering about in a tizzy. Does he know what's going on? That's not bad. The rain's stopped now, but as I say, now the clouds don't have a purpose or a function. There is absolutely no function or purpose to the clouds other than blocking the sun out. Don't be making idiotic statements like that. You don't want to come here. Keep your money. Go somewhere nice. Don't come here. It's just dirt and fucking grey sky and hilly bits. There's nothing to see. Don't come here. Don't give them your dough. Fuck them.
Gotta love a bit of Dow.
Does he do this often?
Not that often. I thought that was brilliant. It's hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it? And I'm not laughing at Dal. You know, I thought he was just genuinely very funny with that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm laughing at Dell.
Oh yeah, it's funny to see somebody that mad.
He's so grumpy that day. I've noticed he's turned up in a few random side chats recently, just being grumpy. So
Yeah. He's been in our live chat, hasn't he? For the live stream for the server. He's been in there a couple of times.
He's a bit grumpy right now, isn't he? Poor Dale.
He can move, can't he?
He could, yeah. There's nothing to stop him moving, but well, apart from I guess raising the money and having a job and all that kind of thing.
I know, get a job down in Texas. You can get a job as a weatherman down here.
Yeah. I think he'd do all right in America. It might, it's tough. Immigrating's tough, but
yeah, he could go to. Well, he could have.
Is the idea because he's a flat earther, it's funny? Or, I mean, if he was just a regular guy complaining about the weather, would it be?
It would still be funny.
It would still be funny,
yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah, it was. It was because I think he had some comic timing, and it was funny to hear him talk about a guy having hypothermia and things like that, and the clouds having no purpose, and just to hear
kicking that ball as well.
Yeah. And just to hear his frustration, it was, he is a funny bloke. You know what I mean? I once told him that he had no sense of humour, and I can't remember. It was in a text chat, and he responded a couple of lines later with something that almost had me falling off my chair. It was so funny. So I retracted the comment. He can be a witty guy, although. As he pointed out, he's Scottish, and generally they're pretty miserable fellows. Sorry, Scottish fellows.
Wow.
And when he threatened to beat up his ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that part. Yeah. I wish they were here right now. I'd fucking
All right,
you gotta get him on more.
Yeah. I've got one for you now, Chemo. This is a video that caught my eye this week from a flatty who I hadn't come across before and who had some strong words for his fellow Christians. Here is American Beelzebub.
I want to talk to you Christians out there who believe that you live on a spinning water ball jettisoning through space. And so, yes, I want to address the flat Earth. I haven't said too much about it regarding, the importance. The reason is because of the division potentially that it causes. But the more I think about it, and the more you start to see deception after deception after deception, just rolled out in our face. Okay, just rolled out, and you start to understand that there's a lot more importance to true cosmology than not. I discovered that the Earth was absolutely flat. And it was so compelling, and the evidence was so plain and true and simple, and curvature was completely debunked. And there's plenty of videos out there for you people curious about this, okay? There's Rob Skiba, there's Globebusters, there's Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DIRTH, there's Eric Dubay, even a non-Christian Christ denier, but he does good flat earth work. There's tons, and if you need to know anything else about it, I'll send you plenty of resources. It was so compelling to me. I got so excited that I reached out to a couple of my Christian friends. I thought for sure that there had been an awakening in the evangelical church or whatever to come to the knowledge of true cosmology while I was away for all those years. One of them called me. Her name was Jeannie, and she said, "How you doing?" I said, "It's amazing. I just came back to the Lord. You called me." And I said, "I'm so excited. I'm so excited because now things make more sense than ever about the gospel, about Jesus Christ, about all that he's done for us, about how God cares about us and lives right above us, above the firmament." And I was like, "How long have you about flat earth, right?" I was like, you know, because she was just like silent on the other end. And make a long story short, she knew nothing about it, nothing. So what do? in love, as this is my sister in the Lord and her husband, my brother, I start to share with them how incredible this is, how wonderful the revelation is. I started to share all the scriptural evidence. I started to send them the videos of showing how the curvature was debunked. And these are people who, they speak like the Lord out of their mouth, like all the time. They're like, Jesus is very important to them. And they try to disciple people, and they go to church like 2 or 3 times a week. And then there was the silence. And this is the treatment that I've gotten from nearly all my past close friends in Christianity. I've gotten the silence treatment. They've told me I'm too aggressive. They told me that I'm this, I'm that. They don't see the Holy Spirit in me. I've gotten accused of all these different things. That the fruit they're seeing from me doesn't seem right. It's been really disappointing, because ever since I come back, it's almost like a shunning, like a complete shunning. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to acknowledge what the scriptures say. And what I'm realizing now is that a lot of people that I thought were Christians, now I even have to question, what the hell? Are they even Christians? They don't know the word. They deny what it plainly states. Like, I once thought like flat earth was divisive. I now have to look at it as a litmus. Because, and it's okay if you're a Christian out there and you just don't get it yet, give it some time, but you need to research the truth. This is important. And if you're a Christian and you say, oh, what difference does it make? As this sister said to me, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? It makes all the difference in the world. Because once you start to believing in one government lie and one fake science lie, you'll fall for anything. And then you can be led down any path. And by the way, there's a real science you can do for yourself in order to figure out the truth from fiction. There's a real science. And that's called the scientific method, right? Look at these guys. Nice hoax, guys. Nice hoax. That's called the scientific method, and that's how you easily disprove and debunk curvature. Okay? Very easy. You could do it because we have the technology at very affordable prices now. You buy a $500 camera or some lasers and go across the frozen lake, and you can see that there's no curvature on that 20-mile lake. You claim to be a Christian, and then you're going to have the nerve to deny the ultimate truths of God, and you're going to take a stand on the satanic Luciferian science of quote-unquote science of the globe. Well, if you're believing their cosmos, you are living in their world, and you are loving their world. You are loving their world. You love it because you won't let go of it. And when a brother comes to you and tells you the truth, you won't accept it. You say, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. You're too aggressive. You don't have to. And I say, who is this person? Why do they reject the truth? Oh, Jesus is the only thing that matters. No, Jesus is the truth. Don't you get it? Jesus is the truth. And part of his truth is cosmology, is the fact that water always finds its level. We're not spinning on a ball. We're not whirling through space. That's what gets people away from God. I had my good friend tell me the exact thing. He's open to God finally because of cosmology made no sense to him. Because spinning on a ball, whirling through space means he can't relate. It's important. It's important, and I have to question, if you call yourself a Christian, but you reject true cosmology and you reject those who are trying to speak the truth. And remember, Jesus is the truth. Not Jesus is the only truth. He is the essence. He embodies truth. And part of that is cosmology. And the cosmology is a flat earth.
There you go. That was American Beelzebub.
I know you were. Oh shit. You were gonna ask Chemo a question. I was just curious. I mean, I thought because the other guy's name was Beelzebub as well, and I thought Beelzebub was like the devil.
I thought that as well. Anyone know what that was?
Yes, it's one of the names of one of the angels connected to Satan or whatever.
Right.
Beelzebub, something to do with the underworld, I think.
Is Beelzebub the Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Dung Heap, or something like that?
Yeah, maybe. You'd have to ask like an expert like Dawn Treader or something.
Oh yeah, he would know actually, wouldn't he? Yeah, that is more his thing.
Yeah.
So what did you make of that then, Kat? I bet you've got a view on that.
I think it's like a lot. It's when he's like going through a bit of a breakdown, right? So he's just arguing, latched onto this sort of flat Earth thing. And I mean, I don't know what he expects a more Christian response to be than just be quiet or like, please shut up, dude. Can't take this anymore. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing because I think some things that, as a Christian, I think it's good that people come to the Lord, but I don't. Your sort of house is on sand if it's all based on flat Earth. Do you know what I mean? You're building your house on sand a bit there. So yeah, I don't know. It's sad, really. I don't know.
Chemo, your thoughts?
What is the question? What is it? What do you think he was?
Well,
asking?
I guess what he's sort of not quite saying, but is sort of saying. I can't remember the title of the video, but basically he's saying if you don't accept flat Earth, then you're not a proper Christian.
Right. So he's just talking to Christians, not anybody.
Right.
Yes,
I
think so.
He's almost saying that salvation is contingent,
right,
on believing the Earth is flat.
Right. He's making it a salvation issue.
He's not quite saying it, but he's dancing around it.
Right.
Well, isn't it pretty clear in the Bible that Jesus is just like a metaphor, a euphemism for flat Earth?
He is flat
Earth. Did I misunderstand something?
Yeah. Well, I guess you could interpret it that way, Curb.
I could. Yeah.
I think it's pretty open on the whole interpretation thing, isn't it? I mean, you can go one way or the other a lot of the time, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Spurs, yeah.
No, make your point. It's okay.
Well, I just think that's interesting. Occasionally that comes up. I've seen that come up where a Christian flat earther, tries to make it a salvation issue. And I always think that's a very bad strategy, I think.
Yes and no. I think again, I'm not mystical thinking what he's thinking of, but I think what he's thinking of, or where he's coming from, is your people like Kent Hovind, for example, where he's a Christian, he's supposed to understand the word of God, but he pushes, yet we're on a globe. So it's almost like he's pushing a contradiction. So I guess for him, if he were to have a discussion with, say, Kent Hovind, he would say, how can you, believe this lie and obviously believe, Jesus and God at the same time? But then obviously Kent might say something like what you just said. It doesn't depend. You don't have salvation depending on the shape of the earth. But again, it's the ideology. It's the idolizing of this idea, which, again, it's just depends on how you see it. So if Kent Hovind, just an example, is saying, yes, it's a globe, of course it's a globe, here's why, and to the Christian or to the flat earther, he's pushing an outright lie. Okay, so it's like contradiction. How can you lie and be honest? That kind of mesh of thoughts, I would have thought.
Okay, but doesn't it seem, from a sort of biblical scholar point of view, You know, almost no one in history has interpreted the Bible to mean that the earth is flat. And the people that have are remembered in history because they interpreted the Bible to say that the earth was flat. So it's not a popular interpretation and hasn't been ever. So it seems to make it a salvation issue now.
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, most people
because most Christians have been indoctrinated and educated in the same way as everybody else. It's not. So what I mean is, it's not like they went to biblical school and were told the earth is flat. So they were just told about the word of God, and then even those priests were very selective about which verses they would repeat over and over and over again. And you know, people have Bible study; they don't study the cosmology. They study the word of what God says about how to get salvation. So I think.
But this guy is saying that they should have studied that. That they do need to be studying that, and unless they are studying that, you know, they're not really studying. You know, there's no point. And my point is almost no one interprets the Bible how he does, and I think he should reflect on why that may be.
If you don't know about it, how can you even consider it? So, like I said, this is why I think he's.
Well, it's the word of God. I mean, it's supposed to be clear, and you know, you're not supposed to require, you know, clarification from elsewhere or be susceptible to influence.
No, I've just said,
elsewhere.
haven't I? The indoctrination has happened. So people haven't. So part of the indoctrination is the ridicule side of it. So again, it's just a lot safer, like in your mind, psychologically, just to go with what everyone else is going, but you can hold God's word to be true, you know, based on the salvation idea. So when he's saying these things, I think again he's thinking of the Kent Hovens, who are professing two things publicly and loudly and proudly: the truth and a lie, the truth and a lie.
I don't think he was, though. I think he was talking about his Christian friends who aren't out there pushing a globe or anything like that, who aren't really, don't even see it as how.
Well, then it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be an issue for them, because they would say salvation doesn't depend on the shape of the earth.
But he's saying it does, and I think that or he's getting close to saying it does.
No, he didn't. That's if they are going to push the lie and the truth. So that's what I mean. Kent Hovind wouldn't say, I would imagine, it doesn't matter what the shape of the earth is. He would defend the globe if asked, and then go through all of the, you know, the model there.
He has done, actually. I remember seeing his videos. Like when this first started, he actually addressed it really quickly, because his field is obviously quite linked in a way. Do you know what I mean?
And I think when he got out of jail, a lot of people were, you know, a lot of flat earthers, I think, were expecting him to jump on this, because it was in you know, it was in the much earlier days of it as well, I think. So
even while he was in jail, people were like, you know, expecting, you know, is he a flat earther? You know, this was the thing.
No, he hates flat earthers. I mean, he really hates them, probably more than he hates atheists.
He let everyone down with that in the Christian community, because he should have understood straight away, because he would say lies in the textbook. That was one of the biggest things, you see.
Yeah, but to be fair to him, for all his Kent Hovindness, shall I say, he got like a bloody, what was it? He had that whiteboard straight out. He was drawing all these diagrams. He was proper annoyed with the flat earth.
Right, yeah.
He actually has some quite good flat earth debunking videos, actually, to be fair. But, yeah, that was a long time ago.
All right, let's move on, because we spent a while on that, I think. So, well, we're kind of in the same vein now, really. Next, a Sunday roast regular. Just when I had decided he was cool, our old friend Donnie has been up to no good. And some of the people of Watertown, New York, are not happy with our Donnie. Let's take a look.
We got this guy, I can't really see him. It's kind of dark right now. But we got a bunch of cops out here because this guy tried to break into my house over my gay pride video that I took down the flag. And he had a knife on him. You really can't see, it's really dark right now. But let's see if we can get some better video of him. And there's his friend over there in a green shirt. So now they're arresting him. Man, you really can't see out here. But he's being arrested.
To death. This is worth every fucking moment of getting arrested, knowing that you're a piece of shit that needs to be done with. Our fucking community doesn't need to deal with people like you.
His pants just fell down, and good thing you can't see that, but his pants just fell down. But they just arrested him.
A broken path. Yup, that's what I think I'll follow. I'll follow Flat Earth of Watertown because I'm the bunghole checker. Yeah. Let's go take flags and do other things and have fun with it. But if you get arrested, you're gonna go crying for bail money to somebody or something, I don't know. You probably get ROR'd anyways with the coronavirus that you don't believe in going on. Just don't get yourself in no big mischief out there, bearded guy. People are watching you. Hell, Andrew Cuomo there, or whatever, Cuomo there, the governor. I don't know if it's Andrew or Peter or fucking whoever, but Cuomo had you on the news too, bro, so you're gonna go viral.
I'm in jail. All right. So that was our Donny taking down a gay pride flag, getting his house almost burgled because of this, and then eventually, after a warning from his mate, getting himself arrested.
You got arrested for the flag, for taking down the flags?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's definitely illegal. Not gonna lie and say I haven't done that though. Not a gay pride flag, of course.
Hey, what flag? Hang on. What flag did you take down?
I'm taking down plenty of flags.
But not a gay pride flag.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I shouldn't incriminate myself, but the U.S. flags, Texas flags, stuff like that.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh,
I do it nice and neatly though. So
you mean so that you could steal them and hang them up in your bedroom, kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
got you. Okay, all right. Well, that's
it's not stealing though. I wouldn't call it stealing, but but
well,
yeah.
Well, did it belong to you, Kosho?
At one point, it did. Yeah.
No, but
that was the effect. Was it belonged to me?
Okay.
But anyways, that's another story. Okay. Yeah, I do think. I mean, his sentiments for what he's doing, even though he did do it kind of nice and neat, it still is. It's obviously wrong. And I don't know, was he throwing that in the trash or was he mailing it?
No, I
doing.
think that's their mailbox. I originally thought it was a trash can, but it isn't. I believe it's like a mailbox that he put it in.
Yeah. So obviously that's not right to do. It's not kind to do, but obviously you don't want to break into someone's house with a knife because someone's doing that. So
I don't know what that guy. He sounded drunk, didn't he? The guy that was arrested.
Yeah, he sounded real emotional. I mean, I can't remember. Who knows what's going on in his head?
Are you guys assuming the gender of that individual?
All right, let's put it another way. He sounded. I'm really going to dig myself a hole now, a politically incorrect hole. He sounded drunk and gay to me.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
You're going to prison for saying that.
Oh no.
I think it's really sad. Like he shouldn't have taken the flag down. He should be arrested, and he should put it in the mailbox. He should be charged for that as well. It's wasting the postman's time. And whoever tried to threaten him with a knife should really get psychiatric help. Quite frankly, I mean that's just insane.
Well, opinions aside, I'm pretty sure it's a fact that he was looking like a fool with his pants on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, it's odd really because, a couple of weeks ago I had a clip of where Donnie had gone out to do some flat smacking and then had come across a Black Lives Matter protest while he was out there, and it was a sort of in-car protest, and someone had dropped one of the signs from one of the cars as they were, they got it hanging out the window and it had sort of blown out of their hand. And he picked up their sign and started being a Black Lives Matter protester. And it seemed like, he's a guy who's just for all, minority groups, if you like. And now he's no longer that, is he? Clearly. So that was our Donnie.
So that was the same guy. That's so weird.
Yeah, that's the same guy. Yeah, I should probably show more of him in his video, but of course, when he's out, you very rarely see him. But he does live stream, with just a webcam where it's just him, shouting at his camera and stuff.
So I missed a lot of that. So he took down a gay pride flag,
right?
And they followed him. And then he got arrested.
Well, I think what happened was he took down this flag. He posted a video of him doing it, and that video went a bit viral. As a result of that, someone turned up at his house one night and apparently started, as he described it, trying to break in. I guess they were probably, trying to wanted to have a word with him, sort of
right.
thing. They were arrested. Then we had a clip from his friend who made a video saying, "Be careful, everyone's watching you. You're going to get yourself into trouble." And then finally we had like sort of 10 seconds from Donnie himself where he's in jail. So
it's the funniest bit.
But he's out again now, I hasten to add. He wasn't there long. He said he was only there like an hour or something.
Did he go to jail because of the flag that he stole?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
okay.
I think so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was Donnie's story.
I would be interested, without getting too political, what happened to the person who threatened him with a knife?
Yeah, I know.
That seems a bit unreasonable.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And that, who knows what happened to that person in America? My God, you could get could get 10 years for that or something.
No, they'll probably put him on TV as a hero.
Yeah, exactly. That's more right now. Yeah, that's what would happen. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, too political. Sorry, Jeb.
No, don't worry. And now, yet another Sunday Roast regular. Excitement is still building around Greg Hackett, the self-proclaimed new King of England, Israel, and the world. Let's take a look at what's been happening this week. Oops.
Man, I wanted to talk about this today because this is incredible. I was privileged enough. This is so insane. I was privileged enough to interview the king, King John III, the new king, Joseph Gregory Hackett. Okay, I spoke with him yesterday, and I gotta tell you, man, it was an epic interview. So, those of you that don't know, Joseph Gregory Hackett has been basically picked by Trump, by the Vatican. The royal family has been removed. The royal family, I'm going to say that again. The royal family has been removed. It's done. They're gone. They vacated. That is, nobody understands this. Nobody knows this. It's very true. The royal family has vacated the palace. If you look at Buckingham Palace, it's gone. No one's there. It's vacated. No one is inside the palace at all. There's no guards outside, nothing. So Joseph Gregory, we interviewed him yesterday, and a really fun-loving, easygoing guy. He obviously likes to drink. He's really down to earth. I enjoy talking to him. But I was just awestruck because I could not believe that I was talking to the king that's inheriting what he said, he's inherited the world, is his words. I'm telling you now, during the interview, he does call himself the Christ. He's been on record saying that. He does hold the Holy Grail, which everyone knows the Holy Grail is the bloodline of Christ. He has the documentation to prove it. The Pope has also vacated or advocated the Vatican. Basically, what we've seen of the Pope at the window and all those, and every time he's made an appearance has been a hologram. By the way, I was invited to Buckingham Palace, and I'm allowed to go party there as long as I wear flip-flops and swimming trunks. This guy's a riot, man. This guy is a really, really cool guy. Like I said, he's one hell of a guy. He's the type of guy you want to party with. You want to hang out with. You want to go to a club with, a bar with. I mean, he seems like he can drink anybody under the table. In fact, he was on his way to crash a party when we were talking to him. It was insane.
March 2020. The coronavirus takes full effect in the United Kingdom, and 63 million people are forced into lockdown. London streets are quiet, but rumours about the royal family are ablaze. Civil unrest breaks out. No clear leadership. Seems like there's no hope. But what if there was a new king? A hidden king?
With this ascension to the throne and the current situation with the coronavirus, is this all tied in with this internal battle in the USA?
Internal battles everywhere. It is the fulfillment of prophecy.
Hi, it is I, Stacy. I'm doing a reading on Joseph Gregory Hackett III to find out if he is what he says he is. And this is the outcome. Yep. He's completely mental.
So,
I love that ending. Nice ending there.
Yeah. Is he completely mental? I think he is.
I'd love to know what Chemo thinks of this. Actually. If he thinks there's anything interesting. Because there's something interesting for me, anyway, as a Christian. So I just wondered what Chemo would think of it.
Any thoughts, Chemo?
Yeah, I mean, there is an underlying issue, obviously, here. I always try to avoid it because it's close to home. But yeah, there's definitely problems, just as well as here as there in the States.
Well, okay, so my thing is he's of the bloodline of Christ, which is like, I don't think in the Bible Jesus had any kids. Just correct me if I'm wrong on that one. And this is a bit weird. And also the fact that he's sort of coming, he was saying like at the end of the prophecy, I'm going to be like king of the world. That would make him sort of more like the Antichrist. I don't know if you just follow what the Bible's saying. I just think it's weird because a lot of people, especially the guy who brought this to me originally, he's like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to become a Christian because of this. It feels like another sort of flat earth thing. It's like really weird. I don't know. Anyway.
He also claims, I believe, that he claims now that there are two Christs.
Oh.
Yeah, Jesus and the Antichrist.
Yeah. There was Jesus, and then there was his, I think he said he was related somehow, like a cousin, second cousin or something like that, who came kind of like a generation later sort of thing, and was another Jesus apparently. Anyway, I think you can get this. I only managed to catch the first half of it. They've made sort of two parts of this documentary, and it is out there. It's out there in a few places, but the channel I use is called Da Creator's Son, DA Creator's Son. and he's the guy. Mahoney is the guy that produced it, and the one you saw interviewing him there. So that's his channel.
Is it free to watch?
Yeah, it is free. Yeah, they've made it free. There's another. I mean, this is the weird thing as well, because basically they announced that this movie was coming. They released a trailer to it, which is kind of the bit we saw. I think, did we show it last week? I can't remember. Anyway, and then you had to. They were sort of plugging this website. And you go to the website, there's nothing on it. It's just a single image of the Earth as it happens. But the idea was, if you signed up at the website, you got sort of early access to the video. And then they released this like really short video yesterday. Probably I should have included it, where it was just a sort of like it started like a sort of broken radio transmission, like being tuned in, and then it says, right, it was like one of those numbers stations from the Cold War, you know, and then they said, right, you've passed the test, you can now access this material at such, you know, here is the link, and it was like, you know what I mean? They really
LARPy, isn't it?
Yeah, they really bigged it up. Yeah, really LARPy. Yeah. and that's the kind of weird thing with this, because you know, they're quite happy to just say, oh well, the royal family have gone, you know, and he's the new king now. You know, nobody seems to nobody else, you know, no mention of this in the press anywhere or anything like that. But they're sort of quite happy to run along with it.
I wonder if that's true, if there's no one guarding Buckingham Palace right now or anything.
Well, I'm guessing that they probably have reduced guards if there's no royal family there. The place is being refurbished, and they're doing their social distancing lockdown stuff as well. You know, if there's no point having guards there at the moment, they just said, oh, well, let's just not bother, you know.
It's one scenario.
Because you've got to feed them. Well, you've got to feed them and everything, haven't you? They've got to be in a barracks together somewhere with other guards, haven't they? You know what I mean? So it would make sense if you just reduce the number to the bare minimum, particularly if there's nobody there to guard.
How's he going to run this for much longer, though?
I know, that's what I don't get. You have to feel it's going to run out of steam, but that, you know, it does link on to QAnon, and that hasn't bothered the QAnons, does it? I mean, they regularly announce that, you know, Hillary's been arrested, or Obama's been arrested, or, you know, so-and-so's just about to be arrested, and none of these people ever are, but just about every week they announce an arrest of some high-profile person that hasn't happened.
Independence Day's the next one.
And then
That's
they'll say,
they're all talking about.
And then they'll say, well, I've heard QAnon followers say, well, I think Hillary Clinton has been arrested. We just don't know about it. You know, we just haven't been told, but she has, you know.
Or there's a hologram of the Pope. It's not the real Pope. It's just a hologram.
Oh, yeah.
I just said.
Pope's a hologram, yeah.
You know, I think he does have a lot of docs, though. He says he's got a lot of documents.
Right, yeah.
That he's Jesus' great grandson. That he's the fucking king of England. He's got a lot of documents, so it'd be nice to take a look at those.
But I noticed when I watched. Sorry, go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
No, I was just asking, would it be nice to take a look at those?
Probably not. I think he's probably spent a lot of money just creating some nice-looking documents, you know. But I did notice when I watched the interview with him, there are aspects of his story that are definitely changed. You know, where he told the story once, and now he tells it, and it's, you know, there are quite different details to it, you know, which suggests he's lying. You know, he has this story about how at one point he went to live in a cave in Portugal. And the first time he tells this story, he said the Portuguese Navy did a sail past and waved to him while he was living in this cave. And then and then in the documentary, he claims that a replica of the ship of, who was it? Drake, or no, not Drake. Might have been Columbus. I don't know. Some mariner from the past. He reckons that they sent a replica of their ship past his cave, and I think there has been a replica of this ship built, and there's a bit of footage of it that he managed to grab from somewhere and sort of suggested that was it. But yeah, so it's sort of a detail, but it's a completely different. In one story it's the Portuguese Navy, and in another story it's a replica ancient, sailing ship. And you would have thought he would have got that detail in both stories, right? Yeah. And
maybe it was both.
Maybe they both. Yeah, maybe both happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one and the same. Maybe the ship is what the Portuguese Navy uses.
Yeah, but because he makes a link between, I can't remember whose ship it was, or maybe it's the name of the ship, but there's some link from that to something, or they constantly link, everything's a sign or a symbol that links to something else. So it was significant in his story in the documentary, and yet when he told it in the Hangout a few weeks ago, that detail wasn't there at all. And there was another one I spotted, and it was only a half-hour documentary, you know what I mean? It wasn't, and there's that other guy blathering on about coronavirus for a bit of it. So, you know what I mean? He doesn't say that much, and there were two sort of obvious, untruths there, I thought.
It's almost like you don't believe him, Jim.
I just don't get how he thinks he's gonna, where he's gonna go with this. That's what I don't understand.
Do you think it's more or less gullible than Flat Earth, like, to believe in this? Because in some ways, I think it's more gullible to believe in this.
I think so. But I'm not sure if these guys, especially that Mahoney, I'm not sure, especially after I saw that, that how I described how they released this, I'm not sure he isn't in on it.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
You
can't have gone there and seen him and seen all his documents, apparently. I mean,
right. But then he seemed to know those other guys who are just nobodies from just these, I don't know who they are, who first had him on their Hangout. So it's all very odd. But it's fun to watch anyway, because, I mean, he says some crazy shit, doesn't he? And, we like that. We like crazy shit.
Pete Shane needs to take some notes so he can become the king of Ireland.
Oh my God! What is somebody writing in the chat?
Romans 2:5. It's my Spurs chemo there.
Yeah. That guy didn't seem too bothered that Jesus, that dude was claiming to be Jesus. He's like, yeah, and he claims to be Jesus too, but yeah, who cares?
Right.
So, okay. And then I think that'd be hilarious if that dude actually turns up at the Buckingham Palace with flip flops and a bathing suit.
Right, yeah.
They're all confused. He's like, wait, what? You can't party?
Yeah, he seemed very excited by that, didn't he? That he'd got that invite. I guess I don't know. I do wonder where he'll go with it, and I guess that's kind of why it's fun to watch, because he's got to crash sooner or later, hasn't he? He's got to.
Yeah, I'm amazed he hasn't already. It's like, how does he get all these wind in his sails from people? Like,
right.
These people who believe him, they're just right there. Like, yeah, is this the king?
Yeah.
What he could do is he could just pretend he's running from assassins, and then just keep doing hangouts and raising money on chats. That could be his future.
He does do that, He says there's been 12 attempts on his life. I think he claims, People have tried to poison him and shoot him and all sorts of things.
Oh my God! He can come on with like comedy slings or like an eye patch every now and then. They tried to get me.
I don't know. It just goes to show, though, doesn't it? It seems like you can get away with saying almost anything, and if you say it on the internet, you'll find a bunch of people who'll believe it. I don't know.
Spurs knows all about that.
Yeah. Precious just temperature.
Did you have any of Spurs debate on the show? Because that was actually
Pressure's
really
what
good.
pressure, Jem? I mean, temperature is temperature, right?
Yeah, do you know what? I probably should have included it because I did think you did a good job, Chemo. Actually, I'm going to get lynched for saying that. I thought you did all right, mate.
I thought you killed him, Chemo. He had his head in his hands. He was
It's
crying.
difficult to gauge when you're actually in it. I mean, you're up against a PhD. He's what you would call a true expert, scientist, professional, and I would have thought he would have wiped the floor with the flat earther. Unfortunately, guys, he didn't. Why didn't he do that? Right? That's the question.
It's the same old story, Chemo. This is the thing I say over and over again, and it always rattles me when I see, the mainstream media taking this on, and they say, "All right, we're going to get a astrophysicist to talk to the flat earther," and of course they can't respond because being an expert in astrophysics isn't that much use when someone's throwing a load of completely made up bullshit at you. You need to be an expert in completely made up bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
and I am that. They should have me on the telly, and I think that's the thing, that guy knows his stuff very well, but he doesn't know your stuff very well.
Well, we can talk about that in a while though, because you've got more flat Earth related stuff.
I have actually. This is a good one. I think we might like this. So, and now we put our foot down and crank the speed up to 88 miles per hour so we can generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity needed to take us back to September 2017. And some prominent flatties are planning the growth of the Flat Earth movement.
Good evening and welcome to Flat Earth United. This evening on our panel of excellence, we have, first of all, Mark Sargent. Also, we have Infinite Plane Society. And we've also got Critical Thinking Always. We've also got Flat Earth British. How you doing?
Totally epic, Nathan.
In case you hadn't gathered already, this show will be about Flat Earth in the mainstream. So about 12 months ago, I can remember people, detractors, naysayers, as IPS would say, telling everybody that we should have more mainstream coverage, that the movement is dying, that nobody's hearing about Flat Earth, that it'll all be gone soon because we haven't got any mainstream coverage. And what do you know, 12 months along, we've got lots of mainstream coverage. So plenty of column inches, we've got billboards, we've got people making it onto the news.
As you know, the detractors have been telling us, I mean, honestly, since the end of 2015, it's like Flat Earth's dead, case closed, RIP, blah, blah, blah. We've heard this all along. And then sometime, so many weird things that happened this year. Let's see, NBC, Vice Media, I've got all the emails, HBO, CNN. Several of them have not run the stories yet. Several of them are still finishing it. But at the same time, there were documentary teams out there that have been following us around since. I can't wait to see if the national media finally covers us in the way we should be covered, which is with respect and awe.
I just want you to explain why you had a cameraman in your house.
Yes, well, his name is Daniel Clark, and he independently contacted Mark and then myself and decided that, he'd already pre-decided with the group that they wanted to do a documentary about flat earthers. And of course I said yes, Mark said yes, and that's why he ended up at my place. He's been here twice now. So for a couple of days in a row each time, separated by a couple of months. They want to do this documentary because they know there's something to this. Now, do the people that are backing the documentary, the guy who's doing the filming, director, etc., do they believe in Flat Earth? Well, so far, Mark and I and others have definitely helped them not laugh at it anymore. They're probably thinking about it, but they don't disbelieve in it. They're not doing a hit piece on it. I can tell by the whole nature of this thing. It's not any way of making us look foolish or ridiculous. Let's face it, anything in mainstream, there will be people commenting on it who will try to make us look foolish and ridiculous. But that documentary, which we don't even know the title of yet, is just to present what flat earthers are like as people.
Good to be here as well. It's been quite some time, and this is a great show to talk about flat Earth in the mainstream. And yeah, the amount of media and press requests that we're getting is unbelievable, and it's going to be amazing to see so many different countries represented. We've got the Sydney Herald flying in from Australia. We've got German press. We've got India. We've got quite a few different countries. We have 2 documentaries going to be shot. I think Patricia and Mark were mentioning with the documentary crew that's following around, and it's been with them. They're going to be there shooting, and another one as well. And yeah, we're really excited. Like I said, this is not going anywhere as far as dying or slowing down. I mean, it's just absolutely amping up, and it's exciting to be a part of it. And it's awesome to be here with all of you on the panel. Just because people that are coming are just happy to be there with over 500 flat earthers themselves. For so long, they've been ridiculed, they've been beat down, they've been ostracized, they've been fired, they've been, divided with their family. This is going to be a time of healing. This is going to be a time of community. So already it's a success. Even before it happens, it's a success. If people get together in a room, anything is over and beyond. Anything that I do that add the professionality to it, that the media, the world looks at and goes, whoa, like these guys are getting to a point of real seriousness. These guys aren't just a bunch of kooks meeting in a back alley. They're not just meeting in a bar. And I'm not discounting, the meetups and stuff. I think the meetups are completely, absolutely phenomenal what's going on. Everywhere, they're all happening. This is just going to escalate. This is just going to completely amplify after the conference, because for one, a lot of people are sitting back that I know personally. They're like, you know what, this year I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to watch and I'm going to see how it goes. I'm like, that's fine. So I think even by next year, you're going to see absolutely an explosion, not just in numbers, but just in participation.
Oh, wow, that one ended suddenly. I thought there was a bit more of that. Anyway, that was the Flatties way back in September 2017, plotting the growth of Flat Earth that I would argue has not occurred.
Yeah, a lot of very poorly aged statements there from Patricia.
Right.
I think she was right. They didn't intend it to be a hit piece to make them look bad, but they did that all on their own.
Right.
In the footage.
Yeah.
She was, of course, referring to Behind the Curve, which,
of course, yeah.
Just I guess everyone guessed that.
When you think about how bad that documentary could have been, like they pulled so many punches in that documentary, it was crazy.
Right.
The fact that it's perceived as a hit piece is really all on the subjects.
Yeah, I agree with what Lewis had said, that because the funniest parts are like when Nathan Thompson's like reading a book while he's driving,
right.
which is not necessarily like, it's not like they're pointing it out, but he kind of does. But then also when Mark Sargent's like at NASA, he's like, this thing doesn't work. This is so stupid. It's like a big green
classic.
start button.
Right.
You couldn't have written that.
No, that was epic, wasn't it? But that's just the sort of thing that I would do, though. I would totally do that. I would miss something really obvious, a big sign in front of me like that. So yeah,
but it still wasn't hit piece. I mean, that's just comical. Do you know what I mean? It's not
right.
You couldn't even interpret that as being too mean. It's just something funny that happened.
I mean, I think the main effect that it had was but Behind the Curve was it brought in more people who were it brought in the debunkers. It brought in more people who were against it. So that was the big effect that had, I think. Any thoughts, Chemo?
Absolutely. I think it did what it was supposed to do and still doing it. Was to keep the professionals. I mean, I think we saw when I was on Fight the Flat Earth, this was the proper part of the problem, is having the academics face flat earthers, because there's no other way out for these academics than to concede that they have no science. So I think the next level, the next stage, we're talking about the next stage. I don't think necessarily it's the media per se, or never really has been. I mean, yeah, it has had its exposure, but when we think of debates or discussions like creation versus evolution, they've always been in places like universities or halls or, you know, conference places where like this. So I think the flat Earth has now got into the place where it has a seat at the table of discussion. No longer is it ridiculed.
Which table is that?
Yeah,
the table of discussion, right? Because before you could, if you had a flat Earth card and said, "Hey, I've got a topic for discussion," they would have said, "No, don't be silly. We're not even entertaining that." Today, we've completely changed the landscape here.
I don't know whether that's true. I mean, I think
I don't think it's true at all.
For instance, I know that Roxanne and her lot actually debated with I think it was at Cambridge or Oxford Geology Society? And they were heavily criticised for doing that, the Geology Society work. Because I went on their Facebook page and there were a number of posts from people saying, you should not be giving these people a stage. You know, they're just silly. Stop it.
Right. So that was another point, because you were saying earlier on, oh, give it to you. And, you know, people like yourself who, you know, really, if we really look at it, you're just kind of a stop, you know, you're in the way. I mean, what we really want, not like in the way, but I mean, just think about it. If we're debating this for, you know, years and years with, you know, people who just think the Earth is a ball because the academics have told them, and then we don't speak directly to the academics, you know, we're not going to find out the truth, right? I mean,
I think Spurs. I think you should thank Gem. I think Gem's like your master. It's a compliment to Gem's server how well you did in that debate, because they've trained you so well.
Yeah,
so many hours they're arguing.
No, that's definitely true.
You created a monster.
But, I mean, you know, I think, Jem, you know, you're saying that you want the best of both worlds. You want to see these debates, but you don't want to see these debates, you know, because you say they're not ready. They have to argue a certain way. It shouldn't have to be that way. It shouldn't have to be, you know, people like yourself having to do it, Mr. Scott having to do it. It should be the highest, you know, elements of education, academia, just presenting their evidence and things like that. So that's the only way forward, is to show these professionals, like I did on Fight the Flat Earth with Dr. Anthony that he didn't understand the scientific method, not one bit. He didn't understand any of the variables. He didn't understand how to predict the cause or any of these things. So it's something that he should already know, not be prepared for. So,
it's a shame. It's a shame all the world's greatest scientists are on Google Hangouts and Discord. We should really get you guys into the labs and stuff.
Yeah. Get you out there doing it with your independent variables, you know, conducting experiments so that we can advance our understanding of reality, right? All right.
Anyway, I'm going to get off now because it's very
sorry,
late.
Keem. I didn't mean to be mean. Sorry, mate.
No. It was that. I just wanted to get to that part and just say that the next level is not necessarily media, but getting directly to the Neil deGrasse's, the Brian Cox's, and because if we can show the world that, because they're your priests, that's how we see it. We see them. You worship these guys. You know, that guy, the PhDs, people would have worshipped him, but, you know, he looked like he didn't know what he was talking about. So if you guys are worshipping people who don't know what they're talking about, that is the next stage, Jem. So, yeah, that's what I kind of think we should be doing.
No worries. Well, thank you for coming, mate.
All right. Catch you all later. Sure.
Cheers, mate.
He only thinks he's going because he's the next clip. So let's see him sort of continue what he's just been saying in this. There's 2 or 3 clips from this week. Compare and contrast with 3 years ago.
So you understand that the curve maths are useless because they've essentially hijacked the effective perspective. So you understand as a globe-believing fundamentalist zealot that your curve maths is just a joke. Dead, debunked by a black swan.
This is news to you, is it, Fundy Fuckwit? Because basically about 5 minutes ago, everything disappearing in the distance was caused by Earth curve getting in the way. And according to Rumpus early on in the show, we can't draw a straight line to a geometric tangent point to do geometry. So this whole idea of a geometric Earth curve edge getting in the way of stuff is nonsense, especially when you consider that the very maths that's asserting that things we see in pictures are being blocked by a geometric Earth curve edge, when you take into account that that geometric Earth curve edge has been turned side on and doesn't include the effect that would make things disappear in the distance. That would be perspective, as you've conceded here. So the whole thing's dying, imploding, and we're sat here laughing and watching as the model burns. You understand that, Chaiki? I hope so. 6 more months, maybe. Dying, imploding, and we're sat here laughing and watching as the model burns. You understand that, Chaiki? I hope so. 6 more months, maybe.
Yeah, if you could only give me the formula to...
You guys that believe that you're on a ball spinning through space is an accident, your entire world is going to burn in front of you. Your entire concept of reality is going to fall apart. This shit is not going to stop. You think we're going to stop? Right now, Google, which is owned by you-know-who, is basically on fucking trial for monetizing people's content, comments, and other stuff that literally comes from a logical, factual person with real information. This will not stop the Flat Earth movement. You cannot stop this. No matter how many fake viruses you have out there, no matter how many puppets you put on stage, your days are fucking numbered.
The interesting thing, though, Nate, 10th man, while we're in the midst of, the discussion, I think the ball earthers are ready, or at least the ones who have been in the discussion. But in their mind, they want to see what's next. They want to see where are we going to take this. I mean,
that's projection. Not where we're going, where they're going. So they're on a path. They are going through the 5 stages of loss, and their projection that they want to see what we'll do next. There's nothing for us to do any next. The Earth is obviously and observably flat. What more is there to do? Well, we can keep exposing the pretender clown liars, but in terms of the nature of our existence, what we observe, how it is what it is, right? Well, where we go is only relevant to them because they're projecting their path onto us. Well, their path is one of depression if they get past the bargaining stage, which is what we deal with. So once you get past the bargaining stage, depression, then acceptance. Well, most of them don't want to go to the depression stage, so they regress to anger or denial.
Usually, people protest. Now, I'm not saying we should go out and protest no gravity, no globe, something like this. But we've been lied. We want justice. No, don't we want things to be right? Have the wrong put right.
Why do you want... What is it with you in this flat earth evangelism? You've appreciated it, and when you did, the world didn't unfold. It remained exactly as it was. You just had your eyes opened to a load of nonsense and models that men had given you.
Something in you has said, I've got to expose this lie. I've got to tell these people that their religion, their belief is not true. But why? Why even bother? Why not just say, okay, you've got a religion, you believe in goblins, fairies, live your life.
Why for me? Because it had a massive impact on my life, and I think it's an absolutely fascinating subject matter. No other reason. I want to be a YouTuber, and I've got a great subject matter. What more could I want? I am up with my feet up, reactively dealing with fundies who come here with their religious rhetoric. Absolutely awesome. I couldn't be happier.
You say things like, we've won. We've defeated the Ball Earthers. We've done it. We've shown that they have no religion. So you bring in the we aspect, like we've done something here. And then you'll say, well, no, it's I. So what, like I say, what is the point of having a community, building something to shut something down for what? Why would we shut down?
Hold on, shut something
their
down.
belief?
Hold on, no.
Yeah.
When we say we have won, I mean collectively, this panel and the people who've come here to discuss the subject matter have reached conclusions that cannot be undone. So what I wanted to do there was show really how things seem to have changed in the last sort of 3 years. So at the beginning there, we heard Oakley proclaiming that it would all, I guess, that something was going to happen in 6 months. I'm not entirely sure what. Then we heard how that was interpreted by one of his fans, which is that it's all over for us Globers in the next 6 months. And then we heard Oakley saying, well, actually, when we say it's all over, I only mean that for us here in this hangout, and I haven't got any intentions of taking this any further, even though apparently I've got the best flat earth evidence, completely undebunkable ever, So that was really what I was hoping to show there. Any thoughts?
Funny in the chat, Captain Bullshit says that Chemo's getting ready to usurp Nathan. I think that would that'd be nice to see. I don't know if everybody would agree with me, but
he could easily do it because he's more calm, and Nathan's just irritating. I'm sure not all flat earthers can enjoy Nathan. He's just horrible.
Right.
Well, I could see Chemo actually, and actually I suggested this around the time Jose made his show, and that's the reason I didn't keep suggesting it. But I was suggesting that Chemo could do something kind of like Nathan's show, except for not the way Nathan does it, because I could see him doing I wouldn't say a successful, but more successful version of what Nathan does, where he's more a mediator and not necessarily like the guy screaming on one side.
Right. The trouble is, I think, for flat earthers, is if they allow a fair conversation to take place, they're immediately criticised for giving us a platform and things like that. So I think that's what happened to Oakley at the start. I think he set out with good intention, and then realised that
the flat earthers just looked stupid for the first 100 episodes.
Yeah, right. and he realised where his bread was buttered, and took the route that he did. I
think he might have done it a bit deliberately as well, because he knew he just wanted to chat shit to flat earthers. Because the flat earthers didn't really like him, did they? About then, he kind of did that crappy Lemmy Spa meet up and all that. He fell out of favour, hadn't he, a little bit?
Right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on, was there? But I think it's it's interesting for those that go in there or feel compelled to go in there. There really is. It's basically just him putting on a show, and he's told us that. I think he's not. There's no real win in it for anyone, is there? It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't understand why anyone goes on there. I stopped going there as soon as he started acting like that.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can't understand it, but some people. I mean, Rumpus was on there, I think, last week, wasn't he?
Rumpus loves to go on there.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and they love him to go on there, especially the, Oakley's fans, don't they?
I swear, one day we're going to find out Rumpus is actually a flat earther this entire time.
Right.
Did you notice when Rumpus goes on rant, he's just a little bit out of place because he's like, you moron, you moron, you moron.
I know. Oh,
quiet.
No.
Rumpus is like...
I was on there with him. I must admit, I found it hard work. It was, because he immediately somebody says something that he thinks is wrong. He's then got to stop them from speaking another word until he's corrected that. And he'll just keep talking until, you know what I mean? And so it's just, it was not nice to listen to, I have to say.
I think him and he's their boogeyman as well. They'd be lost without him.
Right. Yeah, they do need him, don't they? They need a villain of their piece, and and he fulfills that role quite nicely for them, I think.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's a shorter show tonight because we've got quicker clips, really. So we'll do a final one, shall we?
Was it the final clip?
It is. We've got all the way through to the end. In our final clip this evening, we climb aboard our electric skateboard and go flat smacking with Flat Earth's creepiest weirdo, Nathan Thompson. Let's watch him winning some hearts and minds.
These are my next two victims, right here. Ladies, do we believe in heaven? Because the government...
We're Roman Catholic.
Oh, Roman Catholic? You guys think the Earth's a globe? Come on, the Bible says if someone asks you to go with them 1 mile, go with them 2. You can't even stop and have 2 seconds. Excellent witnesses. Hey guys, these are Catholics you want to be like, right here. The people who won't stop and talk to you for 2 seconds. Sign me up. What church do I go to sign up for that Catholicism? Later. I can't stand fake Christians, dude. Catholics just a stupid cult, just like just like the globe, just like Satanism, just like being a NASA fanboy. I'm out here sharing with people.
What do you got?
Oh man, good news. The government's been stealing our money and lying to kids about space. So the Earth's not actually a cartoon globe. You live on a flat Earth.
All right, thanks, brother.
I've been getting that reaction for 5 years. Everyone laughs, but you can test it yourself. Large bodies of water don't curve. As soon as people hear the truth, they get to walking. They're like, I gotta go. Gotta go, don't tell me any more truth. I gotta go. I gotta go too. I got more people to talk to. Adios, muchacho. All right, let's go. You guys ever met a flat earther?
No, thank you. No, no thanks.
It's just a piece of paper.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. So the government steals $50 million a day and lies to all the kids. So I share with people.
Okay, that's not
true,
but okay.
Why is it not true? I've been testing it for 5 years. I'd love to hear this. Right? Nope. Okay, tell me why it's not true. You're just going to dismiss it.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay, but you have no evidence that it's not true, right?
All right.
Right? I mean, just keep walking away. You're live on YouTube right now. I got 13,000 followers, and you just said it's not true, but can't tell me why. I've been doing this for 5 years. It's a joke. Tell me why it's not true.
So you're gonna harass people?
No. You're harassing me by saying I'm lying to you. I'm not lying to you. I've tested it for 5 years. You haven't tested anything. You just believe. Okay? Gosh. Call me a liar. See how that goes. Yo, my dude. Those chicks up there said I was lying, but I'm not. You ever met a flat earther?
No, thank you.
Whoa, had to slow down, dude. You were going way too fast. Could I give you something real quick?
No, thanks.
Oh, darn. It's for you. Special delivery. Special delivery. It's all yours. Oh, you didn't want it. Special delivery.
What's that?
This is the best information you heard all day, I promise.
Oh, that's okay.
You're...
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, come on. You can't even take a flyer. You guys ever met a flat earther?
No.
Yes, I'm the first. That's the fourth one today. Fourth one today.
Well, I heard y'all are all around the globe there.
We are, but it's not a globe.
Well, have a good one.
He said he heard we're all around the globe. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that. He said no. Oh. At least he didn't call me a liar. Thanks for not calling me a liar. Appreciate that. Can't stand when people call me a liar. I can't stand liars. If you guys saw my live the other night, I am not a liar.
Nathan Thompson up to his old tricks, winning hearts and minds.
That man has some serious issues. You don't just go up to people when they're exercising and stop them mid-exercise and expect them to devote attention to you.
Yeah, that's the most poor strategy I think I've seen. Like people who are trying to jog, try to stop them from jogging.
People are not in a good mental framework when they're mid-run to stop and talk to you.
Right. I thought, with those first ones when he sort of starts haranguing them. So you've got no evidence. So you're live, so you've got no evidence. This sort of weird thing,
Catholic women? Yeah.
I feel like he might have bipolar or something. Like I know a few people with that, and that's an episode kind of thing. Because I see that sort of crazy behavior, like bouncing around, chatting to random people. They just call me a liar. Hey, bro, she just called me a liar. Manic, like, wow.
This happens all the time. The man simply has charisma, and you people don't recognize that. You mistake it for mental illness.
He does have a certain kind of charisma. I mean, it's kind of he handles the rejection really well. He keeps his state perfectly. He's always sort of like ready to move on to the next one when it's finally time, and doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that it's the 18th millionth time he's been rejected. It's like it never seems to get to him.
Yeah.
I wonder how many more it'll take.
2.
It's funny to see him in action, I just when he was haranguing those poor women, and he's going, "You've got no evidence, okay?
You're live."
Well, he called them. He was making fun of basically Catholicism. After he's like, "Hey
well,
guys,
no, that was the first
you're
two.
Christian."
I'm talking about the.
Right.
Later on, he does it, and
when he got accused of harassing them.
Yeah.
And this might be a quibble, but since when does he have 13,000 followers?
Right.
On Facebook. I think he's
Oh,
inflating his Facebook group with followers of his.
Gotcha.
Well, he told us there were 1 million people on his Facebook group, so now I'm confused. But okay.
I thought he says 130,000. I thought he said maybe.
Oh, did he? Okay.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
No, in this video, he says 13,000. So I'm not sure.
Right.
Not sure what that's about.
Maybe
he
they
forgot to carry a 0.
Maybe they pruned his group. It's probably full of loads of fake accounts.
The rest of the million are just trolls.
No, he's got 13,000 on YouTube, 13.4.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, 13,000. Well, he is a complete tit though, and a lot of people like to follow complete tits, don't they? I know I do.
Yeah.
He puts up
Depend
different
on it for the
content
show.
at least.
Yeah.
I a lot of them come there. He's got a lot to offer. He's got weird workouts that he does unedited.
For his brain.
That's a weird thing that I'm sure some people enjoy watching.
Yeah.
What he needs to do is start shaving and reading books on camera. That'll
really pull it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a popular thing. Well, you never know, do you? Because lots of things are popular on YouTube, but you just can't imagine, squeezing spots and jet washing cars and things like that.
To be fair, the first time I saw the shaving on YouTube, it was quite breathtaking. I was like, is he going to cut himself?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's only happened once that I've shaved on YouTube. Yeah.
But no, none of us forgot it.
It's a piece of art, Lewis, right? It's a piece of art.
It is. It's slice art.
Yeah.
Has everyone seen that? Because I took the video down.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It is what it is.
It's been downloaded. No, but what do you guys think? Because obviously Nathan Thompson, he doesn't really learn when he's arrested for doing something. He gets arrested for doing it, and then he brags to probably the same school district, a bus driver, that he just got arrested for doing that. And then he's going to harass people, literally harass them. He says he's not harassing them, but he's harassing all these people. And so I mean, it wouldn't be kind of funny if he got legally, he got legally stopped from flat smacking people. They made it illegal for him to actually flat smack anyone.
Oh, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
That'd be hilarious.
Be the best. Yeah, I would like that. All right, shall we round it up?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Like a sphere it up. Yeah.
All right then.
Sorry.
I'll just say a great big thank you to everyone who has donated to my PayPal so far. If you can support the show, please follow the links in the description. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Join us again next week for more fabulous flatness. In the meantime, if you see something you think should be included in the show, please post a timestamp link in the comments section of this video. Or join our Discord server. The link is in the description, along with channel links for tonight's panel. Our Discord has nearly 2,000 members, and we managed to keep a conversation going virtually 24/7. We welcome members with opposing views, so click the link and join us. Thanks again to tonight's fabulous panel. Thanks to all of you for watching. We'll be back around the same time next week. So until then, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Have a great evening.
Stop talking about it and do something!
Suck my dick, Earth, with that bullshit.
Really?
It's like a gentle hate. Do we have another benevolent star here? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you benevolent? Is your friend was?
My name is Logan Paul, and I think I'm coming out of the flat earth closet.
This is so fucking depressing. I can't be a flat earth person.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have a flat earth and things making sense.